Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Jason Ferguson, Marketing Director for New Horizons, and we're happy to have Anna Patrick joining us. Anna is Business Development Manager at CSG Actuarial. And for anyone not familiar, CSG has developed several software and data products for the senior market. So in most cases, if your FMO or your upline provides quoting tools to you, most likely those come from CSG. Now, back in January of this year, CSG joined the Integrity Marketing family of companies. Because of that, a bunch of new tools have become available to agents who are partnered with New Horizons and other Integrity partners. Not only that, but if you're contracted and an active producer with New Horizons, you get all these tools for free. So Anna's going to walk us through some of the tools and features, so I'll hand it over to Anna.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Jason, and thank you everyone for attending today's training. We're really looking forward to providing you guys with more resources to do business electronically and to really have a full suite of software to help you do business more efficiently as well. I know Jason's referred to us as having the industry standard, and I just have to have a big smile on my face when he says that. It's truly an honor to be known as that. So today our focus is going to be on the Medicare supplements and some new resources to really help you with your quoting on your Medicare supplement that will save you a lot of time. We have a new feature within your client manager, which is called a bulk Med Supp quote. So that's going to be really efficient for you. And we're also going to walk through a new tool called MarketEdge. MarketEdge is great to really help you pinpoint areas of opportunity. So where you should be focusing on, where you should be buying leads. If you're doing any marketing or doing any community events, that MarketEdge tool is going to really help you pinpoint the best areas of opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to dive in here. Again, focusing on the Medicare supplement quoting tool. When you get into here, all you would have to do is hit the run quote underneath the Medicare supplement, and then just running a normal search here. You're going to notice that you have this new client applicant drop-down menu when you're doing any of your searches. I'll kind of get to that here in a little bit when I talk about Client Manager. But once you upload your clients into Client Manager, you can select them. So then when you do run a quote for them, it just easily populates their demographic information, their zip code, their age, their gender, and then you can start adjusting the plan types as well. Of course, you can move your effective date forward. So we do receive our rates directly from all of the carriers. So if you are looking for a future rate, just make sure you move that effective date. You can choose to apply household discounts or not. We have this new advanced underwriting filter here. So after you enter in that zip code, the show advanced button is going to populate. So this is where you can enter in an individual's health conditions and medication. So if they are going through an underwriting process and you don't want to spend a ton of time looking through rate guides or calling into underwriting departments, use this as a resource to help you with your underwriting and narrow down those options for your clients here. So you can select the health condition that they may have, and then whatever event occurrence is associated with that. And then you can also type in the medications that your client is taking and then that association with it. So just doing a couple of samples here, you can then hit add filter and then add filter. So make sure that those are both added here and then hit get quote. So what we're doing is we are taking a look at what these carriers have as knockout health conditions and knockout medications on their underwriting guides. Then we will remove carriers from the quote results screen that has those health conditions or those medications listed as a knockout. Again, we can't determine if because they're taking this drug with this drug, then it's a knockout, or just looking at those single entries here. So you can see here that it says carriers listed below may accept these conditions. Not a guarantee they're going to pass underwriting, but again, it's going to aid you in that process. So I have those listed here. And then you'll notice over on the left-hand side, I have those underwriting filters checked mark. So if I would uncheck mark that, it's now going to show me a complete list of all companies that you're able to quote on the New Horizons quoting tool. Looking at this, how you're viewing this is just your expanded view here. You can see if they have any household discounts, if they participate in AM Best or S&P, and that effective date. If you wanted to apply any of the household discounts to the rate, you can easily change that here on the left-hand side. You can view as an annual rate instead of a monthly rate. We have some great market analytics here for you as well. So what the market analytics tells us is for these attained age plans, meaning the premium is going to increase as they age, we're going to show you what that looks like. And this is if no rate adjustments take effect for the overall block of business. So you can see here, if we are looking at this Medico plan, their premium is not going to increase until they're 69. We can also see that increase history on that block of business as well. So if a carrier has taken any rate increases for this block of business, you can look at that percentage and then the overall average. If you see NA, that just means we don't have any increase history for that particular company. You can see here the Capital Life, they took a 5% rate increase in August. So a lot of great resources for you. We don't look at closed block of business. We're just looking at these open blocks of business. Then we also have the market data. The market data comes directly from NAIC. So each of these companies, they do have to report their lives or premiums and their loss ratios to the NAIC each year. So this is what we have. I believe these numbers are 2020 numbers that they had to report here. So some of them may be a tad skewed just if they are a newer block of business and they weren't required to report. They only had to report a month. There's so many different criterias for the NAIC reporting, but this will really help you, especially with these loss ratios. If you're looking at those potential to having a rate increase, you have some of that data to help you as well. If there's select plans and you want to view those, just have that checked marked. We talked about that underwriting filter, so you can toggle between turning that on and off when you are running that quote. And then in addition to the underwriting filters, we also have application health questions. So this is great if, again, you are looking to see if a certain health condition is going to appear on the application and if they're potentially going to be able to pass. You can select those different health conditions, and it's going to tell you the look back period on the application. So in the last 2 years, have you been diagnosed or treated with congestive heart failure? So that, again, is another resource for you in being able to help you with that underwriting. Quick feature that I think agents find the most valuable with this quoting tool is the ability to do a comparison. We do have some export options for you here if you wanted to export the quote results in an Excel file or PDF or print them off. But the ability to compare multiple quotes side by side is super beneficial. So all you have to do with that is just select those different products, company names. The bar turns green. Those companies then appear in your compare quotes box in the upper left-hand corner. So then you can click on your compare quotes. You see these 3 plans side by side. You can print that off, save it as a PDF, and save it as a resource or email that quote over to somebody. So you could put in a plan G, you can put in a plan N, and you can put a husband and wife's quote in there. That quote comparison is a very popular feature that a lot of agents find valuable. And then to remove them, you can either exit here or just uncheck mark them. So you probably notice as I'm scrolling through the Medicare supplements, you're starting to see this apply now and add to cart. So you also have the ability on here to submit an application directly to the carrier from the quoting tool. So you are already running your quotes for an individual on here. So why not just start and taking the application instead of having to be redirected to the carrier's website, re-enter and all that information. So we do have a handful of different companies on this platform. The three major ones, we have United Healthcare, we have Mutual of Omaha subsidiaries, we have the Aetna subsidiaries, including Ascendo, Oxford, Independence American, Heartland National. We're going to be getting Cigna on here as well. So this allows you to take a universal e-app. So no matter if you are submitting an application directly to the carrier, for Mutual or for Aetna or for United Healthcare, that application is going to look the exact same. We also have an add to cart feature. So we are allowing you to create a client shopping cart and to put multiple products into that client shopping cart to have one checkout process. So if you were running the quote, you wanted to do a Med Supp with a dental, you could go ahead and put and these can be across different carriers, across different plans as well. So any products that we support on the e-app, currently we have the Medicare supplement and the dental for you to do. When you do hit apply now, or you go ahead and check out, the first time that you try to do any application, we will ask you to validate your appointment. So you will have to enter in your national producer number or your writing number into here. That will allow you to get into the application. So you do have to have an active appointment. We do ping that carrier's database in real time. So you saw that it probably took about 10 seconds for me to get into it. That's because we are validating the appointment. Again, as I mentioned, it just takes me right into the application. It doesn't redirect me to the carrier's website. You're completing everything on here. It carries over all of your quote information, so you don't have to re-enter it. And again, this look and feel, this process is going to be the exact same for every single carrier. So this underwrites in real time. So if you enter in a declinable drug or a declinable health condition, it will notify you of that. It's going to make sure that your application is always submitted in good working order, depending on your underwriting type. If you are doing an open enrollment, but really it's a fully underwritten, or if it is a guarantee issue situation, the system will tell you that. So it's really effective in just making sure that your applications are submitted in good working order. So once you enter in your, once you've entered in all of your criteria here, you hit continue. The sections over on the right-hand side are going to populate for you. So you'll just go through this application. You can go through in different order. So if you wanted to skip through different sections, you can do that as well. I'm not going to go through a whole entire app just because of time here. But keep in mind, you'll just go through each of these sections. You'll have a green check mark when that section is complete and in good order. A yellow air icon means just the information is still missing or it's inaccurate. So once you've gone through it all, you can just go through that signature process. All of your completed applications and your submitted applications, your incomplete, they all store within your applications panel here. So feel free to get into that e-application platform and test it out, get familiar with it. You can start an application and then just go into your e-apps and delete it afterwards. Just don't go through the signature process. So you can see here, I have this incomplete. All I have to do is go in and delete it. So really easy just to sign in and get familiar with it before you're having to do it face-to-face with anybody. All right, that is the Medicare supplement. I know I've went through that pretty quickly, but I know we are on a limited time schedule. But if you need some more resources, we have plenty of resources on our website that walk you through how to do an e-app start to finish. So feel free to check that out. So sticking with the ability for you to do Med Supp quotes, I kind of mentioned this, we have a new client manager system. So client manager allows you to import your clients into client manager. Once you have all of your your clients imported in here, you have some great options for filtering out your clients or finding clients that are with a certain carrier on a certain carrier's plan. In order to get your clients into Client Manager, we have an import option where it's just a simple drag and drop of an Excel file. You can also manually add a client as well. In our training guides, we do have some great tutorials in here on how to import your clients, how to create new clients. If you are importing those clients into here, we have a sample import as well that you can use. So once all your clients are added in here, if you click on a certain client profile, you can have some basic information about them. What's great about this is any of that client's information, when you create a client shopping cart for them on the e-app, all of their information is going to automatically populate into their application. So you won't have to duplicate entering their phone number, their email address, different things like that. You can also import any of their current products that they're on. So in my quote example, I'm really focusing on Medicare supplement here. So you can import your client's current products into here, their carrier, their plan, their premium. That way, let's say you have a notice from a carrier, let's say Aetna takes a rate increase, and you want to go to all of your Aetna clients and re-quote them just to see if there's any lower premium options for some of your healthy clients that can easily pass underwriting. I can go ahead and add a filter. I'm going to select a Med Supp carrier. So let's just say Aetna, for example. These are my 3 clients that I have on an Aetna plan. Or we can do it as maybe you found out that a company is coming out with really competitive rates in a certain state, and you want to go and talk to any of your clients in the state of Texas and quote them for this new company. This filtering process allows you to add multiple filters. So if you wanted to add, any clients in Texas that are on a plan G, you can do multiple filtering here. But what the coolest part about this is, and it really gets me really excited, is the ability for you to do a bulk quote or a multi-client quoting. So if you have a lead list, let's say you have 100 leads and you want to run a quick quote for all of those leads at one time, go ahead, import them. Or if you need to go back to a big block of your business and re-quote them, all you would have to do is filter or select the clients that you want to run a bulk quote for. So I'm going to select a couple here. Once you have selected them, you see the option for bulk quote here at the bottom. You're going to choose the effective date, then it will do the age of the effective date. You can say, I want to run it for the current plan that they're on. So if you did import all of their current client or their current plan type, you can run a quote for their current plan. Or you can say, I want to quote everybody for a plan G. You can select that, and then you can select your companies here. Now, whether you select all companies, 10 companies, 5 companies, we're always going to return the 3 lowest premium options. So if you just want to quote 3 companies, just select those 3 companies. Or maybe you just want to run a quote for Medico for everybody. Just select Medico and it will return that quote for all your clients at one time. So you can see how quickly this system quoted all of these individuals. Again, you can quote 100, that's just an example, but again, you can run multiple quotes for multiple individuals. And when you're on here, if you have entered in that individual's current plan information, you'll be able to see what their current in-force rate is, and then the current plan carrier that they currently have. So this is a great resource for you to do that bulk quoting multiple clients at one time. You can export these results too. So you can use just like a simple mail merge with like a Word document or something like that if you wanted to get these quotes out to people. If you want to look at the full quote results page, just click on View All Results and it will take you to the full quote results page. If for some reason you wanted to quickly see, okay, well, what's an N for this individual, you could quickly change that here as well. And you can adjust your carriers or your companies here at the top too, if you didn't like the ones that were generated for you. Again, all of our training guides for Client Manager or Bulk Quote are up here in the upper right-hand corner. So please feel free to watch those, utilize those resources. All right, last but not least, we have MarketEdge. MarketEdge is such a good resource for you. As I kind of mentioned earlier, this is going to really help you pinpoint those areas of opportunity for you to really focus your marketing efforts. Now, MarketEdge has three components to it, and MarketEdge is really split into MarketEdge and then your rate comparison at the top. So just looking at MarketEdge initially, what this tool allows you to do is break down the quoting activity. So all of the agents who use CSG, how many quotes are being ran. And then also it's going to break down your Medicare demographics. So how many people are over age 65, turning age 65, and then the Med Supp versus Medicare Advantage enrollment. So if we're just looking at a particular state, for an example, we can select that state. If you are curious about the quoting information, you can enter in those quote parameters. So if you were curious how many Plan G quotes were being ran, how many Plan F quotes, different ages, you could play around with the quote parameters. And then the quote date range is just how many quotes within that quote date range. So it defaults to 30. I am a huge geek when it comes to this tool. When we get to AEP, I look at this almost on a daily basis, and I do some pretty unique charts and graphs just because I love to see how our activity on here just increases during AEP. It's really fun and cool to watch. But you can go ahead and hit run search. I'm running this on a map. You also have options to run any of this information on a chart view or a table view as well. I think the map option is great because it's interactive, and I'm more of a visual person, so I choose the maps. But if you want to do a chart or a table, it can do the same for you that way. So right now my results are filtering out by how many quotes are being ran. And then it creates these heat maps here. So I could change this over because I'm more concerned about where are areas in Texas where the most people over age 65 are located, for example. Now it's heat mapping for me on that. So as I hover over these different areas, it's going to tell me for these 3-digit zip codes, how many quotes were ran, what's the population over age 65, the population turning age 65, and then the Med Supp versus Medicare Advantage enrollments. From there, I can zoom in even further, and I can take a look at a 3-digit zip code, how many people are over age 65, turning age 65, Med Supp versus Medicare Advantage enrollment. So if you're trying to figure out where should I focus community involvement, my marketing, where should I be buying leads, if I have the option to do Facebook advertisement and I can select different counties and zip codes for that, this tool can help you because you want to focus on areas where you do have a high population turning age 65, or if you're more of a Med Supp agent, you want to find areas where there's more of a likelihood for a Med Supp policyholder than a Medicare Advantage, just depending on what those demographics are. So this tool is a great resource for you on that. The second component to MarketEdge is rate comparison, and rate comparison allows you to, if I click here, go to rate comparison at the top. It allows you to do a carrier heat map. So based upon where a carrier is competitive at, you, instead of quoting multiple different zip codes in different states, you can create a map. So here I'm going to create a national heat map, and a big company that has been marketed with a lot of integrity agents right now is the new Medico. So let's say you're curious to know where they're competitive at. You can then go ahead, choose that effective date, and then what you're looking at. If you're looking at a 65-year-old, a 66, a 67, 68, let's just choose 65 here. You can select that plan type. Let's look at G, tobacco, non-tobacco. Let's say we're going to look at female rates. whether or not we want to apply a household discount or not within those rates. If you wanted to include the demographics from the previous page, you can do that. Including select plans, this just means that you are wanting to include select plans in there. Select plans can sometimes skew the results though, just because they are lower premiums. So I'm going to go ahead here and I am going to select the two default rating classes for Medico Insurance and Medico Corp. And then I'm going to compare Medico to everybody in the market. So if you just wanted to compare Medico to a handful of companies, you can do that, or you can compare it to everybody. And then from here, you can change your comparison values for the premium dollar. These just mean that when you are creating this heat map, as you're going to see, it's going to change the premium of how I'm color coding it. So the default is 5 and 10. So that just means it's going to generate a colorful map for me. Green is going to be where they are the lowest. Yellow is going to be within $5. Orange is going to be within 5 to 10, and then red is going to be greater than $10. Now, you may say, if I'm looking at everybody in the market, even being within $10, I still can think is competitive. Feel free to change those values to depict, the kind of map that you're wanting to. So if you're wanting to see a little bit more yellow than orange, or even if you think that $10 should be 15 for being red, you can change those values here. So you can see behind me, it's starting to generate a pretty colorful heat map for me. What's great about these is you can save these searches. You can run them each month because they are going to change as carriers take rate adjustments or new carriers come into the market here. So now I have my pretty colorful heat map. As I hover over these different areas, this is going to tell me that in Wisconsin, Medico is the lowest premium by $2.36. If I would hover over this area in Michigan, they are $2.78 away from the lowest premium. So again, we're actually looking at the premium difference from the lowest rates that are available. And this is for every single company in the market that we're comparing to. So this is a great way for you, especially if you're just curious to know where a new company is competitive and you don't want to run a ton of quotes. I totally get that. This map is very helpful. You can export this as well, so you can have a nice picture to reference, print off, keep at your desk, different things like that. All right, well, I think I stayed within my 30 minutes here, just by 2 minutes. So we can go ahead and open it up for any questions if we want to do that.
Yeah. We do have kind of a two-part question. Ronnie has asked if we can upload leads into the client manager, which I know we can.
Yep.
What kind of security measures are in place to ensure that no one else can access those clients or leads?
Yeah, great question. So all of your access is generated based upon your username and your password. So no one else can get into your account unless they have that information. So we do have security measures in place. If somebody does try to get into your account, it's locked after 5 attempts. You would have to call CSG to get that unlocked. To change a password, you have to answer security questions. So your account is protected. Not even your upline can view your clients in your client manager. So it is protected in that sense.
Yeah, I've noticed over the last, I don't know when this started, maybe a year ago or so. At one point we could just simply log in and use the quoter, but at some point I started seeing now we need to enter security questions as part of the setup process. And I suspect that's why, part of these overall security measures.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, and that a lot of our security measures and a lot of stuff is happening on the back end that you don't even see because of the e-applications and protecting your clients. We've had to go through a lot of HIPAA training and a lot of internal compliance changes to our overall software to protect your clients' information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Taylor asks, can you quickly review how to get to the area where you entered in health conditions and drugs that are declinable?
Yep, absolutely. So on the Medicare supplement, when you hit run quote, after you enter in a zip code here, this button here at the bottom, show advance, is going to populate. So just click on show advance, and then this is where you can get to your underwriting filters.
Okay, and hey, remind me, how much does this cost the agents?
Nothing. It is free for you.
Yeah. Okay, one more question. I noticed on the bulk quoting, some people had the household discount applied automatically. Is that a field we should include when we import our client database?
Yes, that is a great question. So within Client Manager, within a client profile, you have the option to select apply household discounts to rates. So within a client profile, again, you can put some basic information in them. And then down below here is that if you wanted to include the household discount when you are quoting them.
And I know on your website, there are a bunch of tutorials. I'm not sure how in depth they go, but do you happen to know, is there one showing how to import client lists?
Yep. So actually within Client Manager, we have these training guides here. We have create new client and upload list. So it's really easy to do. I can quickly show you here. All you have to do is click import clients. You can browse to find that particular file. I have a test upload file here. So you just select that. And then the system helps you automatically map your headers to it. So in this file that I just had first name, last name, date of birth, and tobacco use. So I just have to map that so it matches the import. So I'm just going to drag and drop these into that, and date of birth. And then I can just click map headers and upload. And then it's just going to spin here and it's going to upload your clients into here. It says no data here because I did not have a gender and I did not have a state when I imported my sample file. But we have in here in the training guides an example of what all your headers should be to make it really easy for you.
Great. So that's going to tell, for example, if you're uploading and you want to include gender, do you need the word male or female, or is that an M or an F? I assume that it maps all that out for you.
So let's see here. Can you see my Excel file here? Do I need to change my screen share?
No, cannot.
All right, let's see if I can adjust this here. Oh, just show my entire screen. Can you see it now?
Yep.
This Excel file. Okay, perfect. So these are your horizontal column headers that you would have across the top here. So gender, date of birth, tobacco, and then these are some value options. So if you were using tobacco, you could use true, you can use F for false, yes, no. These are items that we have coded for you that you can enter in those different options.
Great. We have a question about this. I have an existing Excel sheet for clients. Is there a tool to load it in, or am I starting over with entering?
Nope. I think you would be fine if you had a current Excel file. You may just want to save a new version of that and maybe just adjust the column headers. There's certain fields that we can't accept. So these are the only column headers that you could have in there. So you may have others. So you could just rework that file a little bit, but you shouldn't have to start from complete scratch.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, nothing coming through. So Anna, we sure appreciate your time. And just so everybody knows, we are recording this, and we'll get that posted as soon as we can.
All right.
So thanks
Thank you
again.
so much, everybody.
Yeah, have a great day.